Mr. Terrific. His real name, Michael Holt, the third smartest man alive. Mr. Terrific embodies his Golden Age predecessor's slogan of fair play and is currently the leader of his own team, the Terrifics. Versus Batman, the caped crusader. His parents were murdered. He swore to avenge their deaths. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, mastering martial arts, detective skills, and criminal psychology. I'm the Shinin, and I'm here to analyze their intellect, versatility, and weapons, to uncover who would win in a one-on-one fight. At a young age, Michael Holt showed remarkable intelligence, reading and assimilating the works of Bohr, Einstein, Planck, and Feynman, the pantheon of theoretic physics. He studied advanced science, space and time, while other children struggled through Sesame Street. Holt displayed, as he called it, a natural aptitude for having natural aptitudes, easily picking up and retaining complex skills and abilities that other men spent their entire lives perfecting. Before he began his career as a superhero, he already possessed 14 PhDs, 2 in engineering and physics, including assorted doctorates and master's in degrees in law, psychology, chemistry, political science, computer science, rocket science, and mathematics. He was a self-made multimillionaire with a high-tech firm called Cyberware, later Holt Holdings Inc., and was a gold medal-winning Olympic decathlete. While contemplating suicide after the death of his mentally handicapped older brother and the accidental death of his wife and unborn child, Holt was met by the spirit of God's vengeance. Known as the Spectre, ironically, Holt is an atheist, who told him about Terry Sloan, the Golden Age superhero known as Mr. Terrific. Inspired by Sloan's life story, he took the name Mr. Terrific and later joined the current Justice Society of America, eventually serving as its chairman. He initially wore ordinary clothes and a leather jacket with Sloan's Fair Play emblem on the back. He currently wears a T-shaped mask, a black and white costume with red trim, and a collarless jacket in the same colors. The black sections of tunic and jacket forming a T, with Fair Play written on the sleeves and Terrific on the back. For a time, he acted as spokesperson for Telurco and consulted that company on industrial espionage and security matters in exchange for that company helping fund a youth center Terrific had started. Holt has a friendly rivalry with Batman, his opposite number in the Justice League of America. Also, Michael Holt has encountered Terry Sloan twice through time travel, with Sloan expressing pride in having so worthy a successor. Holt has been noted as the most intelligent member of the JSA in its history, surpassing his predecessor. He describes himself as the third smartest person in the world. All right, let's talk raw intelligence, and not just solved a Rubik's Cube in the womb genius. We're talking about the third smartest human being on Earth, ranked in a universe where intellect is weaponized and measured in galactic threat levels. Think about that for a second. This is the same Earth that houses Lex Luthor, who can weaponize economic theory like a nuke. Batman, whose IQ might as well be classified as a national defense asset. And Brainiac-adjacent AI constructs that can rewrite reality algorithms. So being number 3 on that leaderboard? Yeah, that's not just impressive. That's terrifying. This guy doesn't just have knowledge. He has what I call a meta-savant brain. A mind tuned not just to learn, but to learn how to learn anything instantly. Show him a neurosurgery manual, and he's in the OR performing procedures before most med students have scrubbed in. Quantum mechanics? Child's play. He was solving quantum paradoxes when most kids were still mastering the crayon box. He doesn't study fields of knowledge. He absorbs them. This is a man with a cosmic-level polymathic intellect, a brain that doesn't hit walls. It reprograms the walls and keeps walking. Now, shift gears to tactics and tech. This man isn't just brainpower with a pulse. He's a walking specter. You cannot track him. Not with satellites, not with radar, not with heat signatures, heartbeat sensors, or the kind of military-grade surveillance systems Batman personally helped design. Nothing sees him. He's the ghost in the machine, the ultimate blind spot in a world where eyes are everywhere. And then there are the T-Spheres, those sleek, silent orbs that orbit him like mechanical moons. What are they? Imagine if Tony Stark built drones without ego. No speeches, no theatrics, just results. These things fly, fight, heal, cloak, and hack on a level that makes most tech look like Fisher-Price toys. They create holograms so convincing, they can trick telepaths. They can shift gravity fields. They can knock Black Adam off his feet and hold their own against Captain Marvel-level forces. They are adaptive war machines, tuned to a mind that never stops thinking 10 moves ahead. But let's be clear, he's not just hiding behind tech. He holds black belts in 6 martial arts. The man has trained his body like he trained his mind into a precision instrument of survival and combat. There's a story, legendary in certain circles, about how he once took down the Tomorrow Thief, a metahuman threat with no gear in the middle of the Arctic, with broken ribs using nothing but chemistry, a shard of ice, and sheer tactical brilliance. That's not luck. That's Batman-tier resourcefulness. Only colder. And then there's the T-Mask, a piece of wearable genius that's part cloaking device, part nanotech filtration unit, part encrypted global comms hub. It lets him disappear in plain sight and scrub his presence from any digital, biological, or mystical tracking system. He can extend that invisibility field to others, turning entire teams into untraceable ghosts. Not even Brother Eye, the satellite AI that surveils every metahuman on the planet, can find him. This isn't just next-level stealth. This is what happens when genius evolves beyond detection, beyond confrontation, into pure strategic dominance. He's not just a man with a plan, he's the plan, rewritten in code, muscle, and mind. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for your support. The night is darkest just before the dawn. But for Bruce Wayne, that dawn never came. This is the story of how tragedy forged a symbol and how one of the most iconic heroes in comic book history, Batman, was born from blood, grief, and an unrelenting sense of justice. Let's rewind to the core of Batman's mythos, a moment burned into pop culture and seared into Bruce Wayne's soul. On a chilly evening in Gotham, Thomas and Martha Wayne take their young son Bruce to the movies. But as they walk down Park Row, later known as Crime Alley, a man named Joe Chill steps from the shadows. What happens next is nothing short of life-shattering. 10:47 p.m. The gunshot, Martha's pearls, hit the pavement. A child's scream echoes into the night. This isn't just a mugging, this is the death of innocence. Bruce, only 8 years old, watches as his parents are gunned down in front of him, and in that single, horrifying moment, a legend is born. In the aftermath, Alfred Pennyworth steps in, not just as a butler, but as a surrogate father, anchor, and moral compass. He raises Bruce with compassion and quiet strength, even as grief carves deep scars into the boy's psyche. At their graves, Bruce makes a silent vow. I will avenge their deaths. I will never let this happen to anyone else. And just like that, his path is set. Fueled by his oath, Bruce disappears from Gotham for over a decade. A walkabout not of escape, but of purpose. Bruce Wayne trained his body to the limit, pushing past pain, beyond exhaustion, until every muscle, every nerve, every instinct was sharpened like a blade. Through years of relentless discipline, he forged his body and mind into the ultimate weapon. He devoured knowledge, becoming a scholar in science, criminology, psychology, and philosophy, believing that understanding the world was as vital as surviving it. Mastering manhunting and detective work with an obsessive, surgical precision, he became a ghost, perfecting the art of stealth until even shadows could not detect his presence. He confronted the darkest parts of human nature, studying fear not only to resist it, but to wield it. He learned healing so that he could recover from wounds no ordinary man could endure. He mastered tracking, moving through jungles, deserts, and urban sprawls like a phantom. Every moment of his life became a ritual of preparation. Every breath, every scar, every sleepless night was a dedication to a single purpose: to wage war on crime and corruption, and to become something more than a man. This isn't just training, it's transformation. He's forging something bigger than himself, a symbol. Back in Gotham, Bruce realizes something is missing. He has the skill, the will. But criminals aren't afraid of a man. And then, it happens. One night, in the silence of Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne, alone, restless, descended into the cave. The same cave from his childhood nightmare. Then, from the shadows, a swarm of bats erupted. Chaos, screeches, wings like thunder. But Bruce didn't flinch. He stood firm, unmoving, unbroken. The bats circled, not as enemies but as witnesses. And in that storm of fear and fury he understood. Not a mask, not a costume, a symbol. And Batman isn't about superpowers. He's about willpower, about turning trauma into purpose and fear into a force for good. He's not just a hero, he's a symbol, a silent guardian, a watchful protector, the Dark Knight. Batman has no powers, no flight, no super strength, no heat vision, and yet he's one of the most feared and respected heroes in the entire DC universe. Unlike Superman, Wonder Woman, or The Flash, Batman's power doesn't come from another planet or mystical artifact. It comes from within. He's trained his body and mind to the absolute peak of human potential and combined that with a tactical genius that even aliens fear. Let's start with the physical side. 1. Peak human condition. Strength. Batman's strength goes way beyond your average gym rat. He's been shown lifting up to 1,000 pounds in some comics. Debatable in real life? Sure. But in the DC universe, that's Batman's normal Tuesday. Speed and agility? He dodges bullets, outruns trained killers, performs acrobatics that would make Olympic gymnasts retire out of respect. A staple across hundreds of issues, especially clear in Batman. Year One and Hush. Stamina and endurance? He fights for hours, operates on 2 hours of sleep, takes beatings that would hospitalize anyone else, and keeps going. Martial arts mastery? He's not just trained, he's mastered virtually every fighting style on Earth. If it has a name, Batman knows it, and probably improved it. 2. Genius-level intellect and strategy. Now here's where it gets really scary. Batman's brain is his real superpower. World's greatest detective? Absolutely. His deductive skills rival Sherlock Holmes. And that's not even an exaggeration. Master tactician? Batman doesn't just plan for fights, he plans for war. He's famous for having contingency plans for the entire Justice League. Yes, even Superman. JLA, Tower of Babel, 2000. When Ra's al Ghul gets hold of Batman's Defeat the League files, the team nearly falls apart. That's how dangerous Bruce's mind is. Now let's talk about his greatest feats. Okay, so he's strong, smart, and trained like a demon. But what's he actually done? Tower of Babel, JLA 43 to 46. Batman secretly creates plans to neutralize every member of the Justice League, just in case they go rogue. Ra's al Ghul steals those plans, and it works. That's how next-level Batman is. He plans for gods. Beating Superman, The Dark Knight returns. An older Bruce Wayne dons an armored suit, uses strategy, distractions, and kryptonite to take down Superman himself. No powers, just brains, tech, and will. Fighting the Jokerized Justice League, Batman, Endgame Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all infected by Joker's toxin. Batman fights them all in the Batcave and holds his own. And lastly, he resists the Omega Beams in Final Crisis 2008 to 2009. Before using the Radion bullet, Batman is directly hit by Darkseid's Omega Beams. While incredibly powerful and usually inescapable, Batman manages to briefly resist and even redirect them due to his immense willpower and skill, a feat almost unheard of for a non-powered individual. So what makes Batman so damn powerful? It's not superpowers. It's not luck. It's this: a mind sharper than any blade, a body trained to perfection, A will so strong, even gods take notice. Batman isn't just a superhero. He's a force of nature. All right, let's dive into this. Mr. Terrific versus Batman. They're both iconic superpowered characters from DC Universe, and each brings something unique to the fight. Now, I'll analyze their combat skills, weapons, and feats to uncover who would win in a one-on-one fight. 1. Combat skills. Mr. Terrific, black belts in 6 martial arts, took down enhanced metahumans in brutal conditions. Zero gear, just grit and brains. But let's be real. Batman? He's mastered every martial art known to man. He's fought gods. He's brawled with monsters. He's faced metahumans like it's Tuesday, took down the Jokerized Justice League, escaped the Omega Sanction, aka Death at His Life. And yes, he's gone toe-to-toe with Superman. Edge, Batman. Holt is dangerous. Batman is lethal. There's a difference. 2. Weapons. Mr. Terrific built the T-Spheres, easily some of the most advanced tech in the DC universe. Holograms, force fields, cloaking, hacking, gravity tricks, and he controls them with his mind. His T-mask makes him invisible to magic, machines, and gods. But Batman, he's got gadgets for every nightmare. EMPs, stealth drones, mech suits, teleporters, anti-Superman armor, all hand-built. He's basically a walking black ops armory. Edge, Mr. Terrific. Bruce has a cave full of tech. Holt carries his in orbit around his head. And lastly, Feats. Mr. Terrific outsmarted Brother Eye, one of the deadliest AIs in DC. Created tech that hides from magic, AI, even cosmic surveillance. He defeats metahumans not with muscle, but math. His tech? So advanced it's basically sorcery. But Batman? He's got contingency plans for the entire Justice League. Escaped the Omega Sanction, soloed the Jokerized Justice League, crushed the Court of Owls, dismantled Ra's al Ghul, stared down Darkseid's avatars, and didn't blink. He's outsmarted gods. He's turned paranoia into power. Edge, Batman. One's a legend of mind, the other, a legend of myth. Batman's feats are the stuff of modern epics. Mr. Terrific is the walking future, a genius who rewrites the rules and hides from gods. But Batman? Damn! He's got contingency plans for the entire Justice League. That's badass. He's not just smart. He's not just dangerous. He is the plan. And with that, Batman wins.